Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the channel, Hebrew Jamaican Coolie, Barak, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Welcome back to the Bible study. We've been meaning to do this Bible study all week, but as we've said before many times, we have four children. So one of the most difficult things to do is to find time to do our Bible study. However, things have been progressing quite fast lately. And I don't know if anybody has been paying attention, but right now Israel is on tsunami watch. But we're going to get into it, but not right now. We have so many things to talk about, so many current events we need to talk about, so many scriptures we need to also talk about with it as well. Anyway, we're gonna start with a lot of stuff. I'm gonna start from the beginning. So right now, El Salvador offers to house violent U.S. criminals and deportees of any nationality in unprecedented deal. El Salvador has made a deal with the United States to house its violent U.S. criminals and deportees of any nationality in unprecedented deal. Now, let me tell you, we can go through this, but right, let me give you a summary of what's going on. The El Salvador president or prime minister or whomever he is has decided that he is going to be housing U.S. criminals. U.S. criminals, not just deportees. So people are talking about, deportees alone are going there. No, he's taking U.S. criminals, meaning U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens. The man is going to be taken into that country, into that jail cell. If you don't know what the El Salvadorian prison look like, this is the El Salvadorian prison.
And you see how they sitting?
Right, you see how them dealing with the criminals there? Now think about the deal and the reason why your president and his elected officials, the people that he put on his cabinet, would like to send you to a place like El Salvador, whether you're a deportee or a U.S. citizen, right? So, the point I want to make is this: is that you see it already in the headline that they're not only taking deportees or criminals in general, that probably criminals that are illegal in the US. They're taking US citizens criminals. Now, with that being said, what is going to stop Donald Trump from making legislations, rules, laws, and policies that when you get locked up as a US citizen for nothing, to send your ass to El Salvador? You see, a lot of the FBAs were like talking about how, where's he gonna deport us to? This is our land. This is our land. They know where to deport us. They know where to deport us. And you're jumping and you're cheering for Donald Trump. You're jumping and cheering, and a lot of you voted for Donald Trump. What if you see, he already said that he's ending this whole thing of color. But everyone is US citizen, and we know that's not true. You know that in the eyes of Donald Trump, he does not see you as equal to him. But to remove the problems that they're facing, he says the things that he says. Right? So when you're there jumping and cheering about how all these illegals are getting deported and stuff like that, he's gonna grab onto you too. He's gonna make laws and rules and legislations and say anybody that it says here, it's clear as day. U.S. citizens as well. So when he finally gets his foothold, he's gonna make his rules, laws, and policies and says, you get locked up on some trumped up charges. You know how they like to stop black men and lock them up and on some lies and all those things. And you get locked up for weed you don't have, for drugs you don't have. It got planted on you. And then they say, oh, this person is dangerous. Send them to El Salvador. even though you are a US citizen, even though you are FBA, even though you are a ADOS, even though you're a naturally born black American, what is going to stop him from doing that?
And you know what? I think it's funny. Jake Judah has been making so many TikToks. Sorry guys, that's our little baby. He's just now learning to say mama and he won't stop saying mama. But that's not here nor there. Sorry guys. Our little baby, you're gonna be hearing him a lot in the background. Just FYI. But Jake Judah has been making so many TikToks making fun of Issachar and Ephraim about like the ice raids and stuff, them hiding in a pile of leaves. I don't know if you've seen it, like the TikToks and
Oh, the TikToks, yeah.
where they,
Well, actually, they were making the TikToks too, or that they were jumping into leaves and
yeah, but
stuff like
Jake has
that.
been making fun of our time is coming soon. Keep on keeping on, keep on laughing. Y'all think it's funny marking Issachar and Ephraim.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on keeping on.
Mm-hmm.
Your baby that never harmed nobody, that never did anything wrong. You really gonna be crying now. We
Mm-hmm.
always crying in the streets because my baby never hurt nobody. Your
Mm-hmm.
baby gonna be in El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
A
Oh,
mother,
yeah, that's a very good
a,
point.
a mother more fears her child being pow in the street and gunned down. You know,
Not gonna be gunned down anymore as much
that's
as he
that's your biggest. That's
as
all our biggest worry when we have wayward children, as we call them, right? And we always cry. It's the laughing joke in the black community at the funeral. My baby never did no wrong. My baby never hurt nobody. No. What's gonna happen when your baby is well and alive and in El Salvador and you cannot contact him? What you gonna do now? Y'all keep on keeping on laughing at Issachar and Ephraim making TikToks. Your day is coming too. Laugh now, cry later. We are all one body. We are all one body. Circumcised and uncircumcised. They're not looking at us. Oh, these are these are
these are
Israel.
FBAs, these are ADOS, leave them alone. They're black Americans, they're natural citizens, they're
No,
natural citizens of the land, they're descendants of slaves and stuff. They're not looking at it like that. And I know a lot of black people, in particular, the black feminists are hurt because, you had them mock Kamala Harris, you had them vote against Kamala Harris, you had them, whatever it is, and blah 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 blah. And you have a lot of the black feminists there, and they're now mocking and talking about how, we're stepping back and stuff like that. What really and truly, you have to tell me, what power did you have in the first place? The power of vote. Listen to me, really and truly, and I tell people this all the time. I have never believed in the power of voting, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, right? I believe that the hidden hand chooses who they're going to put in front. So it wouldn't matter what you vote. It doesn't matter what you vote. It matters who counts the vote. I don't know if you understand what I just said. It does not matter what you vote or who you vote for. It matters who counts the vote. Because let's say 5 people vote, but there's 5 extra votes. Where did those 5 extra votes come from? Right? Isn't there, doesn't that spell corruption for you? Right? So whoever the unseen hand wants to put in position of power, that's who they're going to put in a position of power. I've mentioned this to people many, many times. Is that the unseen hand is something people naturally ignore. You naturally ignore the unseen hand. You talk about it all the time, but when it comes to voting, it just seems like the unseen hand just up and disappear. Why would they disappear and leave the hand in a set of people? Do you really and truly and honestly believe that corporations who need their rules, laws, and regulations to run this country and run you into the ground are going to sit down and make you peasants control their destiny? Think about it. Really and truly sit down and think about it. Do you honestly believe that all these corrupt corporations that we complain about all the time are going to sit down and allow you peasants that they have rule over to control their destiny? I hope what I'm saying is starting to make sense to you people now.
And not only that, that's the great point. Not only that, right? We it's two sects of people right now in our community in general. We look at, like we were saying at during the last podcast, we look at things from the lens of Israel, but that we're Israelites, right? Like we were just mentioning, this is Ephraim, this is Issachar being hurt right now. The ones that have not been woken up yet, they think, oh, it's FBA versus Mexicans versus
Right.
Puerto Rican versus
Just general black people.
general black people, Nigerians.
Right.
They're not thinking about this is your actual brother. We are hurting because of this. We look at things from a different lens. We look at things from an Israelite lens. We're not looking at things from this worldly, fleshly lens. We look at this, even the FBA. So you look at them like, don't you know this is your brother?
And let me tell you something. I do understand too as well. That a lot of people are hurting and they're angry and frustrated over the situation because of the disrespect you received at the hands of these people. And trust me, really and truly, I get it. I do get it. I do get the frustration and the anger and the mockery that you're now giving to them and stuff like that. But I also want to remind you people that the eye has not been turned off of you. And even if it has been, it's only turned off of you for a minute. It's always been about you black Americans. In this country in particular, it always has been about hurting you black Americans. It's the eye has not been taken off of you. Even if him taking an eye off you, he's just having a snap. He's using a bathroom. He's taking a bathroom break, and then he's coming right back to hurt you, black Americans.
You guys have to remember this. The higher ups know who we are. They know who we are. What was it? Putin that unlocked, quote unquote, unlocked the vault,
the archives and stuff like that.
and
Open up his archives and show all the black messiahs and stuff like that.
During the Renaissance era and stuff like that. They know who we are. Trump knows who we are. It's just us that don't know who we are, and that's his greatest advantage. The moment we wake, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast. The reason why they are dipping all of these people is because what is supposed to happen? The
unity.
Yes, Judah, the Jews are supposed to waken up all the rest of the Israelites. How can it happen if we're not in close proximity of the other Israelites?
And they realize that we're waking up, so they don't want us to have any allies.
That was the worst thing ever for them to bring all the migrants over. That was the worst thing ever, because now you can get the IUICs, the SOIs, the Sons of Thunder. They're in close proximity of Issachar, Ephraim, and all the other tribes. They're in close proximity of them now. You know, and that's the thing. The seed has already been planted. I think they've been here for almost a year, maybe 6 months to a year. I don't know, but I'm pretty much sure the seed has already been planted. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to take that knowledge over back to Venezuela, back to Mexico, back to Puerto Rico, and they are going to open up their own churches. Next thing you know, you're going to be looking on YouTube and you're going to see IUIC, Mexico IUIC.
They're probably already there already.
They're probably over there already. The seed has already been planted. It's too late. There's nothing that they can do. Especially when you don't have nothing. And nobody to talk to. That was the perfect opportunity for the Brews to open them. They open up their eyes, because what did they have to do all day? Especially when they first came over here, they probably just went outside and just people watch and stuff like that. Next thing you know, they hearing some one of their brothers, their fellow Mexicans, talking about the gospel, the true gospel, and it probably intrigued them. And next thing you know, a seed has been planted
for the whole nation too. Majority of the nation.
Can you imagine if they just reached like maybe 50 or 60 of them, and then it spread like wildfire? Wildfire.
And just as we've said last week, and I want to say it again, I want to reiterate it again, or as Jamaicans say, reiterate it. All right, I want to reiterate it again that yeah, when you're deporting so many people, the problem isn't deportation within itself. The problem is the shame that the shame and stigmatism that comes with deportation, right? Whereas you're showing these people in shackles and in chains like they're slaves walking and stuff like that. You have people literally making fun and laughing at situations like this. I do not find this situation at all funny, whether it's happening in my home country of Jamaica or the US or whatever it is. I don't know what type of heart anybody has to have to look at something like that and to laugh and to make fun of it and stuff like that, knowing well that we went through this as black people and stuff like that. Ain't nothing about that that's funny. Ain't nothing about that is to be mocked. You can say, boy, we told you, you never listen, and this is what happening and stuff like that, and you can grieve and say that. But the mockery, the whole mockery, the constant mockery, the constant making fun of the constant like just the constant dumping on them. It's to me, it's just
Do
unnecessary.
you see how you're speaking? You're speaking from the lens of an Israelite. You see, you have been awoken. That is your brother. You realize that is just another tribe. You got them over there. That's why you got. I'm sorry, guys, if you hear the baby in the background. Sorry, guys. That's why these people on TikTok, they have not been awoken yet. White supremacy is still in their heart. They're doing the same thing that
That was done to
Esau
us,
have done
done
to
to
us.
us, and instead of us turning against Esau. Now listen, I can understand if you don't want to, if you don't believe these people are ready to be united too, that's fine, because I actually accept that, because I've seen it, I've experienced it, where they're just like, they treat you like trash and they talk about you and stuff like that, all because they want this tether to whiteness and stuff like that. They want their white adjacency. Understandable and stuff like that. You understand? But at a time like this, I don't know if anybody's paying attention with the whole heap of legislations and the executive orders and the whole of this stuff that he's going through and trying to do to consolidate his power. And I said this last week, and I want to say it again. He's trying to in a fast track. He's trying to fast track and amass a bunch of power. He's trying to. All right, we're gonna go through this, right? But first and foremost, we wanted to go through the El Salvador thing because I wanted to see, look, watch this. In addition, Bukele has offered to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody in our country, including those of U.S. citizenship and legal residents, Rubio said. So if that's the white man that went over to El Salvador, right? Marco Rubio went over to El Salvador, made a deal with him to get even U.S. citizens. U.S. citizens don't just mean us immigrants who've been naturalized, U.S. citizens mean you people who have been born here for years. You FBA, you ADOS, you this, you that. The man is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like he is winking with the eye and he's stabbing you in the back same time. You understand? You honestly, really and truly think he's just attacking these guys. He's not. He's getting around to it, and he's getting around to it very silently. When you have a representative going over to El Salvador and making a deal that they're going to house U.S. citizens.
And that's the thing. What will be considered a violent crime? What a violent crime? It's going to come to a point. Violent crime is going to come to. You got Esau coming at us because we're preaching the gospel, and we have to defend ourselves. That's going to be considered. Y'all don't understand what's happening. That's going to be considered a violent crime. Me defending myself is going to be a violent crime.
Or you're in a supermarket and they're harassing you and you punch him down.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a violent crime. You got to go to El Salvador. But I'm a FBA. But I'm a ADOS. They don't give a damn about none of that. And you know it. You know it. You have ADOS like really showing a bunch of I don't know how to say it, arrogance. Oh, where they're gonna deport us to, huh? Oh, where they're gonna deport us to? They're going to deport you to El Salvador, a land that you've never been to. They're going to say that you're not a US citizen and they're going to deport you. That's what they're going to try to do now. That's the whole reason behind what he's doing. He's doing this so that he can have the power to say, oh, you're not a US citizen. Even though you claim that you're FBE, even though you claim that you're ADAS, he's going to lie and he's going to say, you're no US citizen, you're not born here, your family not from here, you can't prove it, whatever it is. You are going to El Salvador. And that's the point that I am making right now.
And either way, you gotta keep on preaching the gospel. Keep on spreading that good news. You cannot be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
You
Just
know
as
what I
how
mean?
Paul and all the other
Philippians 1:12.
uh-huh.
And this is Paul talking about, what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it happened to him. But ye should understand, brethren, that the things that which happen unto me have fallen out rather unto the furtherance of the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
why
wherever we go, the gospel has to be preached. We have to awaken those that are in those cells. We may not like it, and our spirit is going to be broken in several ways, and we're just going to probably want to lay down and die. And we don't know how much more might be left in us before we pass away in those cells and stuff like that. But do your best to preach the gospel as well. It's not going to be an easy situation, because to tell the truth, the time is coming. The time is coming, and it is very close to being upon us that this is going to be happening soon. Okay,
it's going to be a famine of the word. It's going to be a famine.
it's going to be a famine of a word on the American soil when they lock you up.
And say what you want about those brews. They know that Bible like the back of my hand. They know that if you start quoting a Bible verse, misquoting it, they know which one you're talking about. They know Bible chapter and verse. And you likewise should know the Bible
chapter and the verse just the same.
Because it's going to come a time where we cannot physically have a Bible. Okay, it's going to come a time where we're just going to have to be teaching word for mouth.
And they're going to remove it from you so you don't be able to teach. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing now, right? Next is going to be the bird flu has mutated.
Oh, Lord.
Right? Bird flu has mutated and is more deadly. Bird flu has mutated and is now more deadly than before. Right? And as you can read, you can see that wait, 66 confirmed human cases, and more than it has about 80% death rate with the bird flu. You understand? So this is what we're going through right now. We're going through this right now, right? We're going through this right now. So let's go through some. Oops, sorry. That's my Rumble Analytics. Right? We're going to go through Matthew 24 verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. We are literally right now seeing pestilences happening on the earth. What is pestilence? Pestilence is disease. Pestilence is diseases. The bird flu is rising up right now. When you ask about the earthquake, we're going to go right to that right now. What's going on with the earthquakes? The swarm of earthquakes shaking Santorini prompts Greece to declare a national emergency. This was this week. This happened on February 6th or February 5th. Right? You can see that basically this is what happened. Let's see if this is going to go through it.
The two of them with a great team around them.
No, thank you. I don't want to hear her. No, thank you. Athens, Greece's government declared a state of emergency on Santorini on Thursday after hundreds of undersea earthquakes shook the resort island for nearly a week, One entire week of hundreds of earthquakes happening in this place right now. And even that has caused Israel itself to basically issue its own state of emergency. Let me put this back here. This has caused Israel itself to a series of earthquakes in the Aegean Sea has raised concern in Greece and Israel, and officials and experts are taking action to address potential risk. Santorini and Amorgos have experienced thousands of tremors since late January. Since late January. You cannot tell me that the earth itself is not under judgment right now. We are at a point in time where we're literally seeing everything happen in 1 week. Hawaii had its volcano erupt. You understand? Listen, people will say, "Oh, this has been going on for years." No, it hasn't. Not at this extent, at least.
200 earthquakes over there so far.
200 quakes. 200 freaking earthquakes. In that's why they're preparing for tsunamis right now. You can't literally. You want to look at me and tell me that the Most High is not judging everybody right now?
I love how the Most High made the earth and how he causes things to happen. The earthquakes are going to cause a tsunami now. And I'm just assuming where the earthquake will take place will be Gaza because the strip is right there, the strip of water. Right? I'm just assuming it's going to be at Gaza.
We'll have to see where Greece is, but if Greece is where it is, because Greece was right there, so at the top, so it's gonna come through Greece and Greece is right next to it because Greece and Rome took over Israel and them things there. Well, not modern day Israel and them things there, because that's a different place, and that's a whole different topic for another time. But you can literally see what's going on right now. You can see what's going on right now, right? Again, let's go back to the Bible verse. Matthew 24 verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. We can definitely say we already have famine in Africa and stuff like that, but the famine is going to be actually worldwide. And this is what the Most High is talking about when Yahweh Shai was talking about this now. He basically meant that it would happen globally. It would not just happen in one spot, one place, or anything like that. You understand? Right now, we're experiencing pestilences in terms of bird flu, diseases, etc. worldwide. This is worldwide. If you import food and produce from any country, this is happening worldwide. Many countries just not talking about it. You understand? Because all eyes are on the US at this point in time. You understand? And we have been earthquakes. 200 earthquakes? Up to 200? Mini tremors? Man, that's pretty serious. Alright, I want to move on to our next thing now, right? I want to move on to our next thing. So, watch this video. I want you guys to watch
the FAA
this.
is now investigating mysterious 6-foot chunk of ice falling from the sky, slamming into a home in Palm Coast, Florida, north of Daytona Beach.
February
the ice smashing
4th.
through the metal roof of the home. Pieces of ice also found in the street.
In Florida?
No one inside the home at the time was hurt.
In Florida.
Authorities believe it likely fell from a plane. Tonight,
6 likely fell from a plane. I doubt it.
Can they do check? They clear all
I know
that.
the exhaust and whatever it is, but 6-foot ice. Let me get some Bible verse for you people, for you to understand what that is a premonition of. All right, we're gonna go to Revelation 16:21. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed Yahweh because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. All right, so watch this. Let's look at the weight of a talent is between 50 and 75 pounds.
Wow.
Can you imagine a rock at the speed, at a hailstone, ice, solid ice, falling at a speed of, say, 200 miles out of the freaking sky, clapping you on the head? You're dead instantly. 75 pounds, that might shoot right through you. It might shoot right through you. Right? So this story is actually a premonition of that. Right? This is a warning that these things are coming. Right? See, a Babylonian talent was 66 pounds, 9 ounces. It don't matter how much it weighs. You can't manage that once it like even if that falling from the top of my roof right now, which is about I think maybe 20 feet, 30 feet high. If that just drop on your head, you're dead. Serious damage. You're gonna break something. Or even if you survive, you're gonna be paralyzed. Can you imagine this happening? Can you imagine that happening? This is a warning from the Most High. That was a warning from the Most High that this is on its way, that his judgment is on its way. His judgment is on its way. His judgment has started and it's going to get more. And what we're seeing is the increase of evil on the land and the increase of punishment on the land. And we've been saying it last week. As I said before, as things happen, we wanted to do a Bible study and get you guys updated. But like we said before, we have 4 children. It's hard. It's hard. Right? Now let's move on to the next thing that I want to talk about, right? Civil War. The Civil War movie. Trump is basically, look at this. Like, first let me move this over and let me move this over and let me move this over right now. Right? Look at this. Let's start with this one. Trump administration forces out multiple senior FBI officials on January 6 prosecutors. All right, we're just reading the headlines, you know. We're not going to read this entire thing, you know. Watch this now. CIA offers buyouts to staffers as new director looks to stamp Trump's imprint on the agency. So he's basically getting rid of the CIA and the FBI. All right, that's 2. This is 3. Trump won't rule out deploying U.S. troops to support rebuilding Gaza, sees long-term U.S. ownership. I know you guys saw that all week, and people are like saying colonizers gonna colonize.
That's wild.
Yeah, listen to me. Listen to me. What Trump is doing, he's paving the way for the Antichrist. And when I say the Antichrist, that doesn't mean that the Bible tells you that the spirit of the Antichrist is on the earth, and there are many Antichrists on the earth, but there is one and the only Antichrist, meaning that there's going to be the one with the actual power given to him to be the actual Antichrist. And you have to understand, there are people with the spirit of the Antichrist on the earth, and the Bible says that he who denies Yahushua as the Lord and Savior and has died and that he was raised from the grave is an Antichrist. So even some of these Hebrew camps that don't believe in Yahushua as the person as our Lord and Savior who has reconnected us to the Most High, they are Antichrist. You understand? It sounds bad, but they are Antichrist.
That man said, I'm gonna make a Gaza Strip. I'm gonna make
He's gonna make a Riviera, a resort.
one resort. Look up the word Riviera. This is what y'all. That wild. And just look at Riviera, and then look at the images of Riviera. That man is wild. Go to images. That man wild. You think Ishmael gonna let them get away with that?
If you think about it, look at this, right? Look at this. You see, um, like I said before, just like how people sat down and think that these corporations are going to sit down and let you decide their destiny for their companies of not earning billions of dollars a year by exploiting the people. You really and truly sit down and think that nations that say the US doing things like this are just going to sit down and let it happen as well. And you have people really cheering it on and say, like, I don't understand this mentality of believing that the US is so powerful that it cannot be touched. You people really and truly don't say that this is Donald Trump basically trying to puff him chest up and try to make US seem like it's this king that should be worshipped or else and stuff like that. And no nation is basically taking the US seriously. The whole thing with the trade agreement this week, they already we won against Canada. They already said that they were going to do that on December 24th last year. That they were gonna use 1 point something billion dollars to strengthen them. Oh, so okay, I just do what I said I was already gonna do. Okay, got it. That's a win for that's a win for Trump. The same thing with the Mexicans. They said that they were already gonna send people to the border. They were already gonna send people to the border. So that's a win for him as well. Something that they're doing. Just keep doing what I already said I was gonna do. All right. All right. You understand what I'm saying? So with all this thing of puffing up, and he even removed the US from the UN Council. I don't like the ramifications of what that means is that the US is isolating itself from so many things. So many things. And there's this point that this Jamaican girl in England she was making, and she talked about it, the BRICS situation when Britain Brexit, yes. The Brexit situation when Britain came out of the thing and they were kicking out immigrants out of the country and doing the same thing that the US is doing now. And then she said that, oh, what happened is that the situation where because there were no immigrants to work places like gas stations and stuff like that, people had to go miles. The food got expensive and stuff like that until the prime ministers and those people were begging immigrants to come back. That is the situation that the US is going to find itself into in a couple of months, where you're going to start begging. All of you are going to start begging these immigrants to come back and start working on the farms, start working in the supermarket.
But by the time that happens,
I think it's gonna be too late.
They're gonna be woken up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This has happened. Things are happening so rapidly and before our eyes. It's hard for us to actually comprehend what's going on.
Mm-hmm. No, we can comprehend it, but it's just like it's happening at such a fast pace. We can't translate it so quickly. We say, right, this is going on, that's going on. It's like we're grasping so many things that's happening right now rapidly. You understand? We can't take it all in. We have to take a day off sometimes. Sometimes I have to turn off my phone and just do nothing for that whole entire day, or do nothing for those couple of days. You understand? See? Let me put this right here as well. I didn't press X. Oh, here it is. Trump withdraws the US from the United Nations Human Rights Council. What does that mean? Human Rights Council. Why would you withdraw yourself from the Human Rights Council unless you were up to no good against human rights? I said it before, this might be in line with this. Striking that deal with El Salvador to send criminals to the El Salvador prisons.
That's against human.
See, U.S. criminals and deportees. U.S. criminals and deportees. So all these people were, like I said before, again, I'm going to say it again. right? You know how these people have always planted drugs, planted guns, planted things on black men, innocent black men. You can be a lawyer, you can be a famous person. It does not matter now. Because now you're going to be considered a violent US criminal. You're going to be somebody who they want to do away with. You could be a black man that has stayed on the straight and narrow your entire life. And they're gonna lock you up and send you back to El Salvador. I'm a FBA. I'm a part of this activist organization. You can't deport me. I'm a FBA. I'm a ADOS. You can't deport me. Where are you going to deport me to? That's where they're going to deport you to. Slippery meat slope. That is the slippery meat slope right now.
This man trying to start World War III by any means necessary.
I think he's trying to. Yeah, I do think he's trying to do that. He's trying to get all the other nations to react and come against the US so that I don't know what his plans are. Right? But the reason why I spoke about all of these things right now is to remind you again about the movie Civil War and about what the president did in particular. In the movie Civil War, the president is a third term authoritarian leader who disbands the FBI and uses airstrikes against his own citizens. Let me read that again. In the movie Civil War, the president is a third-term authoritarian leader who disbands the FBI and uses airstrikes against his own citizens. Right? He also orders the execution of journalists and represses protesters. The president's actions lead to civil war that causes millions of deaths across the country. This is the movie Civil War. See? And look, it's explaining to you what did the president do. He abolished the FBI.
What did he just do? Basically, trying to do?
FBI and CIA, right? And he attacked the what's it called again? The
CIA.
Department of Education as
Yeah.
well. The Department of Education, right? So in this movie now, he's abolishing the FBI and the CIA. He ordered airstrikes against his own citizens, right? Against his own citizens, you know. Why would you really and truly sit down and believe that somebody like Elon Musk wouldn't do that? Because Elon Musk, with what he's done, he described me as a person that would not do it. If you give Elon Musk that power right now, he would literally do it, especially against black people. And you people are up here cheering for the man. All because they're kicking out people that you have a gripe with right now. Oh well, there you go. You should have voted for him. You shouldn't have voted for him. Okay. At least they're probably safe right now, away from their wrath and their anger.
He can go over there and try. He really want that Gaza Strip. Once he tries to go in and do it,
He's not gonna be able to do it because
I know.
because the UN and all those nations said they're not going to allow the US to do it. They seized they tried to reseize Panama Canal, and again, let me tell you something, people. Again, the Panama Canal, the Panama people have basically just said that the deal with the Chinese ends next year. So what did he win? Like, people, oh, Trump won. Trump is the man. Trump is the boss. Daddy Trump. Yo, you people have a sick mentality for calling the man daddy. Sick mentality for calling the man a daddy. You sound like the same black women that call the government daddy. Daddy government. Thank you for my food stamps. Thank you for my unemployment and stuff like that. Daddy government. You are the same people that complain about black women putting the government as their father and all them stuff there. And you turn around and say Donald Trump is your father. Father of what? Right? Look at this. Democrats can't even get into the Department of
Taxes
Education.
100% free in the app if you didn't use us last year. Just file with TurboTax Do-It-Yourself. Want to hand off your taxes? Get more from your tax expert and spend less.
Democratic members of Congress were blocked from entering the Department of Education this morning. It's a tense standoff as the D.C. cost-cutting controversy continues. Fox's Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
By what authority can you deny members of Congress their oversight role?
Congressional Democrats are fighting.
Guy, look at the guy. Skin, was a skinhead, but look at how flimsy that guy look. Them have like some dude just standing at the door denying access to elected officials to a department that they should naturally have access to. Which authority, by what authority does he have, or elected authority does he have from them to deny them access to the building?
Speaking of access, and he just took away Biden's security clearance. Yesterday, he took away his
dictatorship. Because all right, you know me, look at it as, watch this. If them want to take out Biden now, and them think him not gonna have the intelligence report coming in to say, yo, you're in danger. Remember that every president, they get a detail for the rest of them life.
Well, that's not him.
You know? They get detail, they get protection for the rest of them life. They get FBI protection for the rest of their lives. And guess what? He's basically removing intel, Biden knowing intel about certain things or whatever it is. All the presidents knew information about all the things, especially him when he took the documents and ran down to Mar-a-Lago and thing and hide documents saying I'm house and all them things here. So even when he was not president and he did that, he had the information to do whatever he felt like, regardless. You understand? He probably knew that they were coming for him right now. Right? Anyway.
To keep the doors of the education department open, literally. After department officials refused to meet with them, a security guard blocked about 30 House members from entering the building's front door on Friday.
Let his children know that he was standing in the way of all children being educated. Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up.
President Trump is considering a eliminating the education department and could lay off its workforce of 4,000 employees as part of his larger strategy to shrink the federal government.
We're going to be looking at Department of Education. We're going to be looking at even our military. We're going to be looking at tremendous amounts of money.
The president has tasked Elon Musk and his efficiency department with cutting spending. Musk is aiming for $1 trillion.
We're talking about
is not an elected official. He put him on his task force. He wasn't even making cars. He bought Tesla with his father. Okay, if you don't know, Elon is from South Africa.
I know that.
Apartheid South Africa.
I know.
You know, apartheid is just like America. Whereas, you know, them steal all the good stuff, them keep all the good stuff, them make them riches and wealth from it and stuff like that, and exploit the people. In father's diamond mines and them thing there, give him the money for go buy Tesla and thing.
So he's not even like an innovator or whatever.
He's not that's what people thought. He's not an innovator.
Wow.
He just bought the company and all them things. And people went into the story of this several times. So he's not as smart as these people keep making him out to be and all them things there. He's not a smart person.
Damn.
Many of these people, they're not smart. They're just wealthy.
I thought he was like a Steve Jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow. That is wild.
billions of dollars.
It's funny how they have a problem with immigrants taking over the country, but have nothing to say about Elon Musk.
Exactly.
Right? You notice, and they're cheering Elon Musk on and
Take
stuff
care
like
about
that.
back to
But
school.
and they'll say it doesn't matter how long you've been here. It doesn't matter if you've had your green card. It doesn't matter if you're a naturalized citizen. They don't want you here as an immigrant. But this white boy from South Africa, who's an immigrant, who will take over your country and them things, there, you have nothing to say about him. And you're cheering man and all them things there.
It will be, in the end, trillions of dollars being absolutely wasted and perhaps illegally.
The U.S. Agency for International Development was one of Musk's first targets. As of midnight Friday, roughly 14,000 USAID workers are officially on leave. Musk is now looking at intelligence and health agencies.
I heard from one constituent that
when you dismantle all of these organizations, it seems as if you want to leave you want to blindside the people with what you're going to do. Because if him do the CDC, him can basically drop a disease inside the US land and them thing that nobody know what's going on because we're not being informed about it. You understand? Except through word of mouth from others, which is what's going to actually start happening. And, taking away the Department of Education, in which that, they only educate their people and they misinform and miseducate our people in the coming years. Man, it just seems to me like, it seems like it's a plan. It's a plan to basically, it's a power structure plan to put white is right back to the top. And that's what I realize is actually happening. You understand? It's a consolidation of power to put white people back on top. But not just any white people. It's not just any white. It's all right now. It's all about the elites, the elite white people. It don't matter even if you have $1 million or stuff like that. You're not a part of the elite class.
Exactly.
And that's what I wanted to say now, because a lot of people believe that just because you have money, you're a part of. You're not. Even if you're white, it doesn't make you a part of their party. It does not make you a part of their clan. It does not make you a part of their circle. You understand? It's like chosen members, super elite people that meet in the shroud of darkness right now. That's exactly what's going on, right? Now, let me move on to some Bible verses. We're gonna go to, we already did we'll go Luke 21 verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress among nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. What do you see what's going on right now? Distress of nations. Right? We're already having the signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars with all this UFO activity right now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? You understand what I'm saying? The sea and the waves roaring right now, right? So with the UFO activities, as well as distress is us as a people, because remember, nations don't mean kingdoms yet. Nations mean people. So every single ethnicity and with what's going on right now is in great perplexity, great problem, and great distress right now. You understand? We're experiencing great hardship. We're experiencing great problems right now. You understand what I'm saying? So, let me see. Let's go to Revelation 6, verse 5 to 8. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. We went over this last week. We want to go over it again because this is actually what's taking place. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarters of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." The reason why I'm basically going over this over and over again, because I want you people to understand what is actually starting to take place.
Be the theme for
The
us.
seal. This is about to be the theme for our lives right now. The seals are opening up. You understand? Everybody worldwide is experiencing the problem of scarcity. You understand? Things being expensive, problems on the earth. We're experiencing earthquakes in various places. Everybody is distressed over war coming to their land. You understand? Everybody's distressed over not being able to provide, to afford, you understand? This is happening globally. I can guarantee you, if you look anywhere around the world, that you might be able to find some videos that talk about these problems on that land in particular. You understand? So let's go back to this now. SEPTA basically had a problem where it had a plane crash. If you don't know what SEPTA is a train service in Philadelphia or Southeast Pennsylvania Transit Authority. That's what it stands for. Southeast Pennsylvania Transit Authority. Watch this.
50 passengers went into flames during the busy. A SEPTA train suddenly erupts into flames during the busy. Developing news tonight. A SEPTA train suddenly erupts into flames during the busy evening rush in Delaware County. Hundreds of passengers forced to evacuate as emergency crews arrived on the scene near the Crumlin station. The cause of the fire still under investigation tonight. Thursday night, in the big story on Action News is the scary moments aboard that Wilmington-Newark line. The SEPTA regional rail train was carrying 350 passengers when the fire broke out, and tonight's service remains suspended. Action News reporter Brianna.
Okay. That's one.
Wow.
Of another plane that was missing in Alaska that is now found.
Correspondent Tom Costello joins us tonight with
All
breaking
week,
news.
planes have been going missing. And
Tom, this news breaking as we come on the air. The Coast Guard reporting that they have just identified what appears to be the remains of this plane 34 miles southeast of Nome, Alaska, in what looks like a snowy, icy field. 3 people on board were discovered, and they're deceased. No word on the other 7 who were on board.
They probably
in the vast expanse of the Bering Sea off Alaska, a round-the-clock search for a small commuter plane headed north.
Low altitude alert, Bering Air 445, check your altitude immediately.
It was 3:18 p.m. Thursday when Bering Air Flight 445 suddenly went off radar roughly 12 miles offshore. No emergency locator transmissions from the plane. At noon today, the Coast Guard announced search teams have spotted something.
At this time, there has been some sort of item of interest that has been identified by another aircraft.
The Cessna Grand Caravan was flying to Nome, Alaska with 9 passengers and a single pilot. The Nome Fire Department posting that the pilot told controllers he intended to enter a holding pattern while waiting for the runway to be cleared. Time-lapse video shows the conditions: snow, ice, and 50-mile-per-hour winds.
There's zero visibility. Basically, you can't see anything from the air or the ground.
Aviation experts say the pilot could have become disoriented in bad weather or hit severe icing conditions.
This aircraft experienced some kind of event which caused them to experience a rapid loss.
Experiencing judgment. The judgment is ramping up
like crazy.
And it is almost astounding that you can really similarize this to biblical prophecy as to what is going to be coming to America. Wait. Oops. Let me close this. Yeah, that is what the Rivera is. But anyway, it's quite astounding. It's quite interesting as to what is going on right now. Since Trump got into office, he's in for 2 weeks now. Things have rapidly begun to increase in terms of, the situations that have been happening in America. And what I'm seeing right now, as I've predicted many, many times, that, all those people that were in the closet about being who they are as a rated assist person are now coming out into the open. Mm-hmm. You understand? And basically, They think that they're coming back on top, they're gonna live their golden age, but they really and truly don't know what's happening, what's coming upon the land right now. You understand? They believe that their evil is going to continue onwards and onwards and onwards. One thing that you have to try to understand about these racist people, they can't be bargained with. They can't. As a matter of fact, let me let the guy tell you about the Terminator. You understand? This is the Terminator.
That Terminator is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
And that's literally Edom at this point in time. You can't bargain with them. You cannot reason with them. They don't feel pity. They don't feel remorse. They don't feel any fear over what they do, because they believe that, nobody can stop them from doing it. You understand? That's why I told you that when Donald Trump was being elected, that's their great white hope. You understand? That's their great white hope to go back to the position of doing the evil that they like doing, especially to you Black Americans. You understand? Going back to the evil, to doing that evil to the Black Americans. And they're gleeful, they're all joyful, they're praising the man for all these things that he's doing. Oh, he's the boss. Daddy Trump, boy, I don't know, man. That's I don't know. And the reason why Edom is allowed to do this is because it's going to be a testimony against them. That they, even when they had the opportunity to do right by the people of the Most High, they still chose evil. So there's nobody in Edom that can come before the throne. When they come before the throne of the Most High, or before Yahushua, our King, to be judged, they cannot say to him that they did right by his people. They can't call themselves Christian. You understand? Because it's always evil in their heart. They boy, man, I tell you, I can guarantee you, if the laws, that law in Georgia to round up immigrants and stuff like that, as I said before, all they have to do to a Black person is say that you're not a citizen, you're lying, and your papers, this is not a real ID, this is a fake ID. That's all. Even if you have your real ID on you, all they have to do is say it's fake, and now you're considered an immigrant. Now they can deport you to El Salvador, somewhere where you've never been. Not even to a safe. To me, let me tell you something. Honestly, you'd be safer in Jamaica. If they deport you to Jamaica, even Jamaican prisons, because Jamaican prisons are so slack, you'd be so much more safer. You understand? You might have to deal with a guy, stomping in your back more time, but it is what it is with prison life. But I can guarantee you, if you left out of Jamaican prison, you'd probably have a better quality of life to look forward to than in El Salvador. And they look like in El Salvador, they want to lock you up for the rest of your life. So think about this situation like this, right? Let me go back to the picture of the El Salvador prison. Look at this. Think about this. Look at this. Look at this, right? Think about this for the rest of your life, right? 30 years of this. I don't think I could manage even a week or even a day or two in this place.
You know what that looks like? You know what
it looks like? Yes.
Transatlantic slavery.
Yes, I was about to say that too.
Packed in like sardines. And now look at them guys. It's the car and Ephraim. Packed in like sardines.
Look at that. And that's where they want to send so-called U.S. criminals. So like I said before, if you are FBA, ADOS, whatever it is, you say you want your reparations, and one day you go have a protest, but you wanting reparations and them thing there, and the protest gets rowdy or and then go lick down an officer or box an officer in the head, and then talk about say when they can't get deported because where are they going to deport you to? And then decide say, no man, we made a deal with El Salvador. El Salvador are gonna take you. See what happened? And El Salvador takes you for the rest of your life. Because they have so many criminals, they don't care who you are. They don't care about your case file, even if you're supposed to just spend a year in there. Then you're gonna get locked up for the rest of your life. Because you look at it and oh, it's just a year, it's done. I can do a year.
And I keep saying this on every video. Are we better than our foremothers and forefathers? Are we better than them? They had to suffer. Are we better than them? No, we're not. They had to suffer. You read the book of Maccabees. It talks about hard things they did to us. Just for secretly having Shabbat, for keeping Shabbat, for circumcising our children. Those times are coming back tenfold.
I agree. There's nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes says there's nothing new under the sun. So that which was done to us before is going to be done to us again. You understand? And we have to start preparing ourselves mentally and physically and be ready for these types of situations, because let me tell you, some people, I'm telling you, that is their plan. Their plan is to get a lot of black people out of America, black people in general, Judah. The people where them said they could not deport them and all them things there. They couldn't deport black people or send them back to Africa, or their claim is to send them back to Africa or whatever it is. You know, now they have a plan. Now they have a plan to say, all right, you know what? Enough of sending you go to Africa. I'm going to send you go El Salvador. I'm going to send you to prison. Yeah, get too much problem in my US.
Same thing.
Because they don't consider you a US citizen. And you know that too. You know they don't consider you as no US citizen. You know, a lot of you are praising, oh, they're removing, you know, the 14th Amendment that made black slaves the US citizenship and birthright citizenship and stuff like that. That could honestly mean that your children, when you have them, won't be considered US citizens either. That means that it's gonna, like I'm saying before, what they're trying to do is to go back to the day and the age by which they had this great authority over you as the white man over the black man. For say, yo, guess what? Me, I determine who is US citizen, and your pitney don't determine is not no US citizen. But I've been born here. I'm a ADOS, I'm a FBA and stuff like that. Well, I don't care what you are. Your child is not a US citizen. So I'm not gonna leave the country. Like I said before, we have to. Oh wait, I didn't know that this does something like that. You know. So you have to think about the situation. You have to think about the situation, because this is what they're planning to do. They're planning to cause great harm upon Israel. Great harm upon Judah. This is their final strike against you, against us. This is their final strike against us. And as I've said before, I forgot to say this, but there's 1 million US citizens living in Mexico right now. 1 million US citizens, yes.
And I'm pretty much sure the majority of them are Esau.
Majority of them are Esau. So, you know, as I said before, you see all this mocking and all them thing there. Boy, not gonna have problems when them get back to the country. Believe me, they're not going to sit down and take it this time. Not gonna start either run out and run back to the US, even though they probably don't have anything left in the US, but they're going for run back to the US. Just like how they're being kicked back to Mexico and they don't have anything. You're probably gonna be kicked out of their country having nothing. You might not have no relatives. You might not have anywhere to go, and you might be penniless. Just as how same thing for them. They worked for years. They built a life in the US, and now they're being deported. They're penniless, and they have nothing to show for it. They have nothing to go back to in Mexico, and them go back and them say, all you 1 million US citizens there in Mexico, They're going to be frustrated just by seeing you there. And by seeing and they're gonna feel like what's the word again?
And
it's a hypocritical thing. They're gonna feel like it's a hypocritical thing where you can come to their country and get all these benefits and do all of these things, but they can't go to your country and do anything. And guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna cause. I'm telling you. It's not a if, and it's not a and. It's when they're going to do it. They're gonna start doing it. They are going to start hurting U.S. citizens once they get back to their countries. Right? Puerto Rico, they're gonna start hurting you. Dominican Republic, they're gonna start hurting you. Anywhere where it's a Spanish-speaking country and you're deporting these people back to wherever they come from, they're gonna think they are going to hurt you. I can guarantee you. And a lot of them gonna look at it as, well, them already non-alive. If they might have to go to prison for the rest of them life, them gonna do it. But them gonna make sure. Them gonna make sure that them take out a couple U.S. citizens and them things there. So I feel, like I said before, you have many black people that live in Mexico. I've seen the videos. You have many white people that live in Mexico. I would just say be on your guard, because I don't believe that the Mexican government, after what the US has done to its people, is going to sit down and protect you from the hailstorm that's going to be coming your way. All right, so we're going to do our last Bible verse and then we're going to close out. So Revelation, we already did the last Bible verse, but let's go back to Matthew 24 verse 7 one last time. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Well, right now we're not seeing a famine as yet. And the Bible also says there's going to be a famine of the word as well when the end times come. So you're not going to have anybody preaching and teaching the word, or the true word. The true word. Let's not just say the word. Let's say the true word. The true gospel. You're going to have people that going to give you, stuff for your itching ears. You understand what I'm saying?
It's still going to be open.
Your church is going to be open now, because they're going to be happy when all the Israelites them start get locked up and sent to El Salvador prisons.
Or they think IUIC ain't on the corner. It's on Thunder HOI not on the corner no more. GMS they gone. I can enjoy my Saturday, not the Shabbat. I can enjoy my Saturday in peace, buying and selling. I don't have to hear about them brews on the corner no more, trying to reel me in. I don't have to hear about none of that no more. I can get my little latte, do all my shopping in peace. I already got everything I need. Get ready to go to church after I fornicate Saturday night. It's fine. I don't have to feel guilty.
I can eat swine. I can eat pork. I can sleep with many women. I can interpret the word that any way I want to interpret it.
After I don't go to church, I can eat my ham. So it's almost Easter for them folk. I can eat my ham in peace on Easter.
Absolutely. All the lawlessness when I want to do, I can do any evil I want and be forgiven by the Most High. Anything right now, So when everybody start get locked up and we start get beheaded too and all those things, and the famine of the word starts to happen, and then all these things start to take place, and you're looking for the real truth, the gospel. You don't want to go to church because you say all church does is filling your ears with sweet nothings. When that starts happening, you're gonna come to the realization, oh my goodness, those people were right. Yep. By that time, we are either dead or in the wilderness. We are either dead, waiting for the first resurrection, or in the wilderness right now. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, people, again, this is a lot of interesting things that have been happening. It is, to me, rapidly increasing biblical prophecy. It's increasing with intensity and frequency. And I think people should just, pay attention to what's going on right now, because all of this stuff is not nothing. We're not going back to a life of normalcy, which is what a lot of people would hope, think, and wish.
Especially you,
right now.
we got our great white hope.
We got our great white hope. No. We got our great white hope, and we're about to have a golden white age. Golden age. That's what they call it, golden age. The most I go show you a golden age indeed. Anyway, people, thank you for tuning in. Enough love and respect. Peace. We are